Women are love leeches. So I want to talk for a second about the idea of monkey branching and what it means for women and the difference of how men do it and how women do it. Men don't really necessarily monkey branch. I think they do, but not in the same sense that women do. Men love possessively and and women love circumstantially and opportunistically. What that means is that when a man loves a woman, she's special to him. And he might cheat on her. That's a man's version of monkey branching. But usually he won't fall in love with somebody else, or at least he won't actively seek for somebody better to fall in love with. And women do, and that's the difference. So women are always mad because they want to be special to a man. A lot of women want to be special because they know that men want a woman to be special to them. So they want to be special to a man, and when they get upset and they get bitter and they get cold towards men, it's because a man cheated on them, and that makes them no longer feel special. Which is, if you boil that down, it's narcissism. I'm so special that, well, yes, I love you. You know, a man might say, yes, I love you, but I might still want to get some on the side. That doesn't mean that I don't love you any less. It just means the man isn't loyal. So, but instead of a woman getting upset, and they do sometimes, but instead of a woman getting upset mostly that he's unloyal, what they're really upset about is that she's not special, which is narcissism. But the difference between when a man and a woman does it is a man usually does it just for the sex. Usually men aren't with a woman and then seeking to monkey branch to a better woman. And if they are, it means that they don't love that woman. And vice versa, if a woman is doing that, she's with a man and she's monkey branching to find a quote unquote better man, it means that she doesn't really love that man. That's what that really means. But when we think of monkey branching, we usually don't think men do it that much. Actually, we think women are the ones who do it because that's more likely the case. Which basically means that women are a lot more ruthless than men. And it means that women don't love in the same way that men love. Like I said, men love possessively and women love opportunistically and circumstantially. For the most part. For the most part, from what I see. So, basically, you boil this down and it means you can't trust a woman. You can't trust women. You can't trust their love. Because a woman will gladly say at any time, I just don't feel like you're going anywhere. I don't feel like this relationship is going anywhere. What she means by that is the relationship isn't going in the directions that she thinks it should be going, which is events, dates, money being spent, traveling, flowers, cards, all these things that you see men who understand women do to keep their women, right? What women want. This is what women want. They want that showering of gifts. That makes them feel special. And when that's not happening, when all there is just a bottom line, baseline relationship where the man loves her and she loves him. But if she feels like he's not making enough money, if she feels like it's not going in the right direction where she can have her little family life and get her little $20,000 marriage and pump out her 3 kids so she can feel like You know, she's fulfilling the fantasy and the dream that she had when she was a little girl. Oh, I'm going to grow up and marry this man who's, a prince. Why do you think Disney is always revolving around this constant theme of the princess being saved by the prince? And even moreover than that, a common girl being chosen by a prince, right? Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, Sleeping Beauty. I believe Snow White as well. Snow White is the same. Or maybe Snow White is Sleeping Beauty. I don't know. I get some of those mixed up. But they're usually revolving around a common girl who meets a prince. And then she becomes subsequently a princess. Walt Disney knew what he was doing. They knew what they were doing over at Disney. They were playing to hypergamy. That's what that is. Playing to women's nature, which is that I want the better man. I want the best man. They're constantly monkey branching. They're climbing the ladder of male success, jumping from one guy to another guy to another guy. And a lot of times they find what they think is a good thing, and then they settle. Okay, this guy's got a good enough job. He's good looking enough. He's nice enough. I like his house. He's got a car. He's consistent. This is probably the best I'm going to be able to do. And that's it. And then they get married, or then they get into a relationship, or they move in, or whatever. So it's not that it's just based on love. It's not that there's any special person. It's not that, and women have done this. Women have done this, not men. I don't think men are trading in their women for better women, or younger looking or better looking women. I'm not saying that men don't do that. They do that. But that's not love, obviously. Obviously, everyone can agree that that is not love. That, oh, I'm trading in my 35-year-old model, and now I'm getting a 25-year-old model. Oh, I'm trading in my 25-year-old model, and now I'm getting a 21-year-old model. Like women are cars or something. I think everybody can agree that that's not love. So why is it that nobody agrees, or nobody talks about it, that a woman trading in a guy who works at Starbucks for a guy who works at a Fortune 500 company, why isn't anybody saying that that's not love? Why does nobody talk about that as if it's not love? Because we have this weird social norm that men, a real man or a quality man, is a man who has resources and a man who has social status. This is something sick that we've concocted over however long, because we attribute physical materialism as happiness, which is a sickness, which is what's wrong with our entire system, which is what's wrong with our entire world. We think the guy who has the house on the hill is living the best life and he's the happiest. Therefore, that's somehow what life is all about. We don't think that the guy who's living in the corner apartment is really living his best life, or he's really happy or whatever. And unfortunately, women follow suit. They don't want to stick with that guy who's living in the $500 a month broken down apartment. They leave that guy. He's not a catch. And nobody talks about it. Nobody thinks that's not wrong, but yet everybody's judging the guy who trades in his 40-year-old wife for the 25-year-old girlfriend. Everybody judges that guy. Oh, what a jerk. Oh, this is toxic masculinity. This is what men do. But whenever anybody says, oh, look at this woman, she's a gold digger, then all of a sudden you're a misogynist. Then all of a sudden you're a woman hater if you call out hypergamy. If you call out women on their shallowness, then you're a bad guy. That's not fair. And then you'll have guys, and oh my God, so many guys I've talked to about this come out of the woodwork to say, that's just the way it is, man. It's our nature. It's DNA. It's evolution. They choose the best mate. And I'm just like, what about love? Nobody says anything. They're just like, that's the way it is, man. Okay, well, you don't know what love is. Love is, I'm going to stick with you whether you got the house on the hill or all you have is a cardboard box. I'm going to come make that the best cardboard box I can. And I'm going to stick with you. That's love. That is love. Not, okay, well, you know, your $500, your cardboard box is cool, but I'm gonna go jump on a guy who's got a $500 apartment. Oh, okay, your $500 apartment is cool, but I'm gonna go jump on the guy who's got the house on the hill. Right? This is what we see. This is female nature. And it's sick. And what's the answer? The answer is love, but the answer is loyalty. Stick with a guy that you love, find one that you love, but I don't know. How often does that really happen? I just got through I think an hour and a half conversation with a couple guys online. A couple guys who were really into improvement, self-improvement, and business and improving finances and things like that. Making yourself better so you can attract more women, things like that. I just got through an hour and a half conversation with these guys about hypergamy. And the best they could say was, well, that's just the way it is, man. They weren't like, yeah, you're right. Love is real. Love is the best thing in life. Da, 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 da. It's crazy how people don't think about that. I grew up thinking that. I grew up believing that. I grew up thinking that everybody was like that. Until I moved to a big city and I realized, oh no, that's not what it's all about. It's all about the ladder of success. That's what it's all about. That's what these women are choosing. That's why guys are doing what they're doing. Now, is that to say that wanting nicer clothes or wanting a house or wanting a better living situation is wrong? Not necessarily in and of itself. But if that's all a woman will choose you for, then something is wrong with her. Something is messed up in female nature, and yet we don't talk about it. But yet we're quick to throw the guy who trades in his 40-year-old model for a 25-year-old model. We're quick to throw him under the bus and say, what a jerk, what a loser. But we don't say anything about the women who ain't messing with no broke dudes. Right? Isn't that strange? Isn't that strange about us as our society, as a society that's built on materialism? And I understand. I lived in rich areas, and I thought when I was walking by these houses, oh man, that must be such a nice life. This guy's got a horse in the back. He's got this little plot of land. He's got a nice car. That must be the good life. And part of me thinks, man, I guess I can't blame him. That must be a good life. I don't know. But another part of me thinks, yeah, but what if he didn't have that? Would his family still love him? What if he didn't have that? Would his wife still stick with him? What if he didn't have that? Would he still be happy? And it reminds me of this verse in the Bible with Paul the Apostle said, I've learned to be content in all circumstances. Basically meaning being content, happy, being okay with whatever circumstances your life gives you. You have a roof over your head, you got food in your belly. But yet even Paul didn't have a wife. Some say he had a wife before he started serving the Lord, but apparently she must have left him and he never talked about it. Which is why at one point I made a video called Paul the Apostle was MGTOW. I don't know if he was necessarily MGTOW by choice. She might have left him because he was serving God. I don't know, but they say that he was married before. But he never once is it mentioned about his wife in the Bible. It's just implied because of his status as a Jew before he got converted. But he said, I've learned to be content in all circumstances. Are we that way? Are we content in all circumstances, or do we want something better? But the better question is, are women content with our circumstances? Are women content with how much money we make? Are women content with how much money we don't make?